I need everybody to pray for Nick Cannon. He recently got robbed for millions of dollars, and the last time they seen him, he looked like he was living on Skid Row. We're about to get into this news. It's already bad enough that Nick is sickly, and if he don't have the money to pay for his nutrition, his overall situation could get worse.
Nick Cannon's former money manager allegedly treated his account like a personal piggy bank and then disappeared with $2 million, according to federal prosecutors. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ that Frank Muzoki, a former account manager, is accused of spending several years siphoning cash from Nick Cannon. Federal prosecutors have now hit Frank with a 8-count indictment, claiming he used his position managing the businesses and financial affairs of elite celebrities to carry out the scheme. While the indictment doesn't mention Nick Cannon by name, sources confirm he is the alleged victim. The feds say Frank had access to Cannon's debit cards and PINs and allegedly abused that access from December 2019 through June 2023. Withdrawing roughly $1.7 million from ATMs, spending more than $165,000 on Amazon purchases, nearly $192,000 on personal travel, and racking up over $160,000 in miscellaneous personal expenses. In total, prosecutors say more than $2 million was stolen from Nick Cannon without his knowledge or permission. Nick Cannon has reportedly been a client for nearly 20 years at the firm where Frank worked. Prosecutors say the scheme didn't end there. The former accountant is also accused of hiding more than $1.7 million in alleged stolen income on federal tax returns filed between 2021 and 2023, leading to 3 tax evasion charges on top of 5 counts of wire fraud. Authorities believe Frank has fled to Uganda, where he reportedly holds dual citizenship with the United States. If convicted, he faces up to 20 years in federal prison for each wire fraud charge and up to 5 years for each tax evasion count. We've reached out to Nick Cannon's team and the FBI, but so far, no word back from either.
Hopefully he's not as broke as they're saying he is, because if he is, it's going to be hard for him to make a comeback, especially if he's already living on Skid Row. Even though times are hard for Nick, I got a feeling that he's gonna bounce back, because according to Orlando Brown, Nick was willing to do something strange for some change even when he had the money.
And then when it came down to Nick Cannon, he really do like to, suck cannons, and that's what he does. He sucked a good cannon on me. It was good. He sucked my cannon.
You just talking shit, Orlando, Mr. Brown.
He licked my cannon.
Mr. Brown, you just talking.
Nick, you suck my. And don't you ever forget it. That's why Mariah Carey left your ass, and you lying, Nick.
He must have had Orlando screaming and hollering and curling his toes for him to react this way about their alleged relations. If any of this is true, I don't understand how Nick had multiple babies with multiple baby mamas. Now that it's been reported that Nick Cannon got robbed, I don't think it make a difference to his baby mothers, because allegedly he never paid them child support.
Lawyers are now getting involved with Nick Cannon's child support claims. So if you watched the first few episodes of this season of Selling Sunset, then you know Bree has explained to Amanda that Nick does not pay child support for her, so she fully takes care of her baby on her own, but Nick is a good dad, is what she said. Then there's also a part where Amanda's like, is that true that if you have more than 10 babies, then the other person doesn't have to pay child support? And Bree's like, yep, that's true, unfortunately. Basically, she explains that the court assumes that the father can't afford to pay if they have 10 or more kids, or they split it a certain amount knowing what the father makes. Then Bree's lawyer goes, Bree, you should know better. That's absolutely not true. There's no cap on child support based on the number of children. So to the extent that Nick Cannon can have babies, he owes child support for those babies under California. But in this second statement, you can see that it doesn't mean that Nick Cannon necessarily pays each of those mothers for each of those children. I do find it funny that Bree's lawyers are the one to come out and be like, Bree, you know better, and not Nick Cannon's lawyers. Her own lawyer is putting her in her...
Over the years, Nick Cannon has been doing a lot of talking, and he's been losing a lot of friends. And I believe that's what made him vulnerable enough for somebody to rob him this bad.
Nick Cannon removes the latest episode of his show, The Big Drive, featuring Amber Rose, from his YouTube channel after receiving backlash for spreading misinformation about politics and for seemingly co-signing Amber Rose when she said this about the N-word.
White people should be able to say and I'm going to tell you why. Because no one, when you really stop giving a about stupid, dumbass words, will stop killing each other. And Nick, it's very different. You know if it says the hard R and they're pointing at you, it's very different than rap lyrics or saying, oh, that's my homie.
Right.
You
if
know?
Somebody's using a term as a derogatory
Yes,
term,
but we know that.
Her, you know the difference between somebody just saying
We're all
a rap
smart
lyric.
enough. We're all smart enough to know.
Now, what's interesting about this is that in the same interview, Amber Rose says that she does not believe that biracial people are black. She herself, being biracial and on other occasions, has shared that she does not believe that she is a black woman. So the issue then becomes, if you're not black, then why are you saying the word, number one, and Nick Cannon is allowing it? But number two, why do you think that you're qualified to tell black people who should be able to say a word that historically has been harmful to black people? A take-back word.
I must say, Nick Cannon's political views are all messed up. And now that he have kids, people are saying that he's a horrible parent.
Nick Cannon gets called out for saying he lets his son date but doesn't allow his daughter to date. So you had Nick Cannon on the podcast speaking on how he let his 15-year-old son go on a date, but he's not letting his daughter go on a date. You had a lot of joints calling him out, talking about he out here with a double standard, woo woo. Why you out there trying to keep your daughter away from men like you while trying to teach your son to be just like how you is? I'm like, whoa, chill. Double standards exist for a reason, right? Just like you got double standards of little boys and little girls coming up, they always tell the little boys, don't put your hands on no little girls, but they never tell the little girls, don't put your hands on little boys, right? And you gotta understand, the woman gets pregnant, right? So if your daughter out there in the midst, she can come home with a baby, and you also got the dangers that's out there. We see in these major cities, you be having young girls going missing and things like that. So fathers are more protective like that with their daughters. Right now, Nick Cannon is not the best example, that you would want a kid to come out and grow up like, right? With all the kids he got and things like that. So I see that angle where they're coming from, but I also understand how fathers are protective like that with their daughters.
I don't know about y'all out there, but it's looking like they're trying to tear Nick Cannon down little by little. He's been getting in a whole lot of trouble over the years. He's been in the Diddy conversation, the R. Kelly conversation. When it's all said and done, once they start digging and see all of his dirty laundry, his situation might be worse than Diddy, worse than R. Kelly. They might call him a cult leader, and there's a possibility that he can go to jail for the rest of his life. But even if he don't get sent to jail, losing millions of dollars is going to be worse than being in jail, because when Diddy come home, he's still going to have millions to play with. With Nick Cannon already broke, and if they throw him in jail on top of that, it's really going to be game over.
Why is it that R. Kelly can't get that?
I think he played in people's face one too many times. Okay. Because if you notice, originally, like even during that time, people kind of be like, even before that, everybody knew about Aaliyah. Yeah. Aaliyah's album was called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. All produced by R. Kelly, and she was 15. The world heard about all of they're married and all that stuff, and we was like, all right, we gonna turn and look this way, right. And
Right.
Then the tape, now they got hardcore evidence.
Yes.
And you like, I ain't watched the tape, I ain't see it, it ain't happened.
Right.
I Believe I Can Fly. Right. Then he came with Ignition, Step in the Name of Love, and Our Hearts Brigade, right. And just focused on the music. And then he came back out again after people had overlooked those two things. It's like, come on, man, you can't keep just women in general. Mm-hmm. And that was his core audience.
Yes.
To be like, you keep disrespecting in our faith.
Right.
Like, and we don't see any empathy. We don't see any atonement. We don't see any change. You're still out here in the club and but I think what people have learned to do is separate the art from the man.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So to say that, oh, now his music is trash because he was because of the horrible things that he did.
Then you got to throw the whole music industry away.
Man, Nick Cannon better figure out how to get his money back. This not looking too good. Nick Cannon's business accountant accused of embezzling $2 million, and then he reportedly left the USA altogether. He could be anywhere, in Africa, in the jungle, with Nick Cannon's money. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. And one more thing before I go.
Subscribe to my channel if that's what you want, but if that's not what you like, then you must be a punk. Hold on now, here we go. Who is this girl? She got that junk in her trunk. Baby girl, back it up, poke out your rump. It's S.A.T that you want.